No, but I'm just saying it's a good example of just the kind of brilliance that happens off here. Don just had a drop that we'll never get to use because he said it not on the show.
One of the greatest drops he's ever had.
I know, and it'll never exist because he just said it in real life.
Right.
But that's what the beauty of the show is.
Yes.
Welcome to ENN. It's brought to you by our friends at Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisi.
Come get some.
Yeah.
Let's start off by saying good evening to Mike Lupica, Michael, and myself.
There is a triple homicide in this book.
I'll play dead. I played dead before.
Yeah. In fact, he did it for a whole summer a couple years ago.
It's such a great line. Such a great line. You know, I know it's great because Lupica wished he thought of it.
He did. You know what? I should feel pride in that.
That should have won point guard.
Thank you. Let's say good evening to Don.
God, it's just baseball. Hit ball, run, catch, throw. My God.
Good evening to Don.
I never cheated on Nancy, but I have a feeling of what it would feel like by watching Pix 11. See, now that makes me... Now, that's bad. That's bad.
Why?
Because I don't want them to think that I enjoyed the broadcast, and I enjoyed their broadcast.
No,
but I should be watching my guy.
Hold on.
Matter of fact, you know what? I'm not even going to watch tonight. I'm only going to listen on the radio.
Hold on. Because it's...
See if I can make up for it.
Because it's not your guy.
What, to Emmanuel, Barberi, and Susan?
No, I love Howie.
Do you love Keith Rad?
I like him a lot.
He's very good.
He's very, very good. But it's Howie, man. Howie's my spiritual, what is it? What did
Spirit
I call
animal?
him? Spirit. He's
Animal.
my spirit. I never cheated on Nancy, but I have a feeling of what it would feel like by watching Pix 11.
I hope, listen, if Don, you ever decide to make that horrible decision.
To cheat on Nancy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I pray to God, at least in that moment, it's more fun than watching Pix 11. That would be one of the worst decisions you ever. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, you would like to say, listen, I regret it. But
it was a great time.
In the moment, it was...
It wasn't just like watching a regular season, one of 162.
At the end of the day, it's one of 162.
What would happen, though? Like, you're very true to Nancy.
Very.
And you know, in a very... moment
in a Spandau ballet kind of way, Don.
A moment of weakness, you do cheat on her.
Yeah.
Right? And you love it. And you still love Nancy. What do you do?
He buries it deep down inside and goes home and calls it a day.
Or do you repeat?
But I don't think the quality of the tryst would have any effect on my guilt. Right?
I know, but if the quality
no. You know what? I disagree. Here's why.
Tell us.
Only if it was bad.
That's what I'm saying. Because if it was... No, here's the thing. You do it. It's disgusting. The whole thing is terrible. It's like this scene in 40-Year-Old Version. She throws up on you. It's just a nightmare, right?
Right. You scream out Kelly Clarkson.
It's very easy because it goes so bad to go, I learned my lesson. Oh, my God, I'm never doing that again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It turns out, I mean, you know, it's the ultimate situation. Everything is amazing.
Perfect.
I think that could make it a harder thing moving forward. Do you see what I'm saying? Versus it's so bad that you just go, I want no part of it.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying, Michael?
I think either one. Matter of fact, I don't think, because of the situation, I don't think it could ever be spectacular because of everything that
After you finished watching Gary, Ron, and Keith, did you light up a cigarette? Did you feel like you cheated on them?
No, I felt good about the win. I didn't feel good about the decision.
Oh, did you say win? That reminds me of Win Horse in France. So watch out, Win Horse is in France, guys.
When did you do that? Oh, that's right, for When Beyond, but that's
for Wemby.
Yeah.
And now he's back in France. See, when you showed the video, I got excited that there'd be a new one to do. And it almost looked like, you know what it almost looked like? Didn't look like Venice in the shot? He was like standing on the water.
I think it was at the River Seine.
At least now he's
I guess it was.
Yeah.
But the way he was standing, I thought it might have been in Italy.
But at least the Wemby one, he went out there for a 5-minute interview and then comes back. I mean, now he's going to be, it's a whole tournament. He's
got golf.
golfing.
Oh, no, we're going to get a lot of use from this.
Well, since we're talking basketball, I just want to give my Brunson point because I don't want to forget.
Oh, this is nice.
So there was a jersey exchange before the game tonight between Volpe and Brunson,
The
who
two
both
11s.
wear 11.
Yeah.
So Volpe gets the Brunson 11 Knick jersey.
This is after he got the judge-signed cleats, by the way.
All right. And then Brunson gets the Volpe jersey. Peter, this is why Brunson's the king. No name on the back.
No, of
Didn't
course.
say Brunson.
It was
Wait a minute.
Didn't say Brunson.
Wait a second. Give props to Anthony. He's the one who gave him the jersey.
He gave him a real jersey.
No, but I think Brunson probably demanded it off the side.
Stop.
Absolutely. He's like, you know
If
what?
Anthony-
I see these yo-yos.
Wait, was it an exchange?
Yes.
Well, so they exchanged authentic.
Yeah, but
They're real jerseys.
I don't think that's the case.
Oh, you can't give Anthony Volpe some love.
Because I think I can give Volpe love, but I think Brunson was like, I'm not wearing any Yankee jersey with a name on the back. because Brunson's the man. He has not made one wrong decision.
That is true. Now, the man has literally been perfect in basically every way. He's unbelievable, that Brunson.
Brunson.
You hear this little shout-out you got? Mad Dog on First Take complaining about the Yankees.
How could you have a Yankee? And you're a Yankee fan. You put on the TV last night to see Kay, Cone, and Paul O'Neill, and they're giving you Jemani Jones as attached. That is rough to take. And by the way, the tickets ain't cheap. Just sit there and watch that.
Did he say K?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Why did he not say K?
How could you have a Yankee? And you're a Yankee fan. You put on the TV last night to see Kay, Cone, and Paul O'Neill.
I think he said Dave Cone and Paul O'Neill.
To see Kay, Cone, and Paul O'Neill.
Well, no, I think he said Dave Cone and Paul O'Neill. Why would he say Kay Cone and then use Paul's first name?
Yeah, that's what he did. Because I can hear it. My ears were.
How could you have a Yankee? And you're a Yankee fan. You put on the TV last night to see Kay, Cone, and Paul O'Neill, and they're giving you Jemani Jones as attached.
It's Kay.
It's 100, Michael, I promise.
First of all, Christopher, it's not Jumani Jones. It's Jemai.
Yeah,
Well, that part got over.
We're lucky he got through what he did.
Think about how many things
Just signed a 3-year deal. 3-year extension. Serious.
It's well deserved.
Yeah.
I love Chris. But there are certain names that you just feel more comfortable giving the full name. I don't know what they call it. It happens in hockey all the time.
I get it all the time. I'm always Michael K. to people.
Right. But is there a name for that?
You always are, Michael.
Yeah, Michael K.
Like, is there a name for that? Like, when I'm doing play-by-play, there's certain names in the NHL where I just can't give the last name. For some reason, I get to give the whole name.
Like Louis Domingue.
Yeah, it's weird, right? And my go-to is from the Columbus Blue Jackets, Boone Jenner.
Right.
Why don't just say Puck the Jet? It's always just comes out Boone Jenner. There's certain names where you got to get, and I think Paul O'Neill falls in that category. Like, I don't think it's enough to say that it's Kay, Cone, and Paul. Just Paul O'Neill.
It sounded like a V in that part.
Listen, I'm sure he said K.
Right.
Okay.
This isn't that George Plimpton didn't scream. All right, this is Russo. It's almost a different language.
Yeah, come on. Respect the man, for God's sake. No, that is interesting. And I wish people felt that desire to say it with me more, because I get Rosenberg all the time. Because I guess it's too many syllables.
That's it.
You ever get called Pete by people?
Sure. Well, that's a big thing. I do a wrestling podcast.
Right, I heard.
It's called Cheap Heat.
Yeah.
It's great. It's wherever you find podcasts. And one topic we bring up a lot, me and Dipperstein, is who in my life are Pete guys.
I never call you Pete.
No, but some people, like
Does Natalie call you Pete?
Natalie has only called me Pete, I think, once. Because I noticed
in
it.
anger.
No, you can't. Pete isn't an anger
No, Peter
word.
is in anger.
Correct.
But not if you call you Peter.
If you guys don't know what drop to play when that gets said, it's a bad job.
But I think it must be a syllable thing, because Paul O'Neill. Peter.
That's anger.
Louis
Here?
Domingue.
Who is that?
Who is that?
Oh, my God. You don't.
Peter.
It's when Stephen A. lost it on me.
Oh, yeah.
A moment that lives in infamy.
Wow. Paul O'Neill,
Yeah.
Louis Domingue, Boone Jenner. So 2 or 3 syllables. I think you feel like you want to give the full name. So you got Rosenberg. You've got the 3 and just the last one.
That's all they need. No one calls me Peter Rosenberg.
I bet if your name was Peter Rosen, they probably would say Peter Rosen instead of just Rosen all the time.
Or Peter Berg. There's an actor, Peter Berg, right?
Director, I believe.
Yeah.
Writer, Peter Berg.
Former Falcon.
He's a Charger now. All right, well, speaking of which,
the kid, very excited, the children, especially Marco, that apparently Michael Bay, they're going to make a Skibbity toilet movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
that's big.
And well, has Michael Bay ever done anything that's not big?
By the way, he's someone you got to say both names.
Like Michael K. Michael Bay.
You got to say Michael Bay. Well, no, and also coming off of Bad Boys, which was incredible, he goes right into Skibbity Toilet. How do you follow up working with Will and Martin?
Don't be shocked.
What, if it's huge?
If it's bigger and makes more money, because this is the thing.
I believe you.
I don't know why. It's
Talk
stupid.
about movie very quickly. I know you got a big ENN.
Oh, it's huge.
What, you guys
The
promote it
Sandlot.
again?
You've watched The Sandlot.
Just a month ago for the first time.
Okay, it is.
Very
It
good.
is a
I thought you hadn't watched it.
It's a wondrously beautiful movie, especially, and you can watch it with your kids.
You don't say.
So I love our company, love it. They've treated me very well for 23 years. Disney. They put it on ABC on Monday, 9 to 11. Well, what are you doing? The kids that are going to watch that.
Well, it's summertime.
But still, you don't. A lot of kids don't stay up till my kids. They're
animals.
2, 3 in the morning. It
Sure.
doesn't matter.
But no, I think that's it.
They're up waiting for me last night when I got home at 11:45. Hey, Dad, where you been?
But by the way, I do think that's a thing. I think it's the summer, and they go,
No,
we can go
movies, but I did see the Sandlot was on there, and this was something I got ripped a bunch of years ago by not having watched the Sandlot. I think, Peter, you were on me for it.
No, I have not seen it in full
You haven't
either.
seen it either.
I haven't
know
seen it till this summer. I watched it with Charlie because he had seen it like 8 times. I loved it.
I know the characters, and I know some lines.
Ruko killed me. He's like, this is the greatest movie. How can you...
Said the same guy who didn't see Rocky.
Right, and I said, listen, the movie came out in '93. I was a grown-up by then. I wasn't going to watch a kid's movie. It was just the timing of it. Then I become that guy and didn't want to watch it. But I thought the kids would like it.
At least you know yourself.
And you know what? It was good.
It's beautiful.
It's really well done. It is a very nice movie.
Better than Angels in the Outfield?
Never saw
that either.
Well, strong. I figured that would be
I didn't see the Mighty Ducks either. You know, a big hockey fan I am, but I missed me. But we watched the whole series with the kids, and they love it.
Bro, this Bluey episode content is gripping.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of gripping content, we mentioned it earlier today. Aaron Rodgers.
I thought you were talking about Ronnie McGuire again.
Excuse me? The gripping content. Aaron Rodgers on why Egypt and why when he decided to go.
I've been a fan for 3 decades. Ever since I was in a gifted and talented education class. I
got to stop for a second. I've never heard someone just refer to being a fan of a country.
Also,
I'm a big fan of Egypt.
Ass. He was in the gifted and so was I. Do you see me throwing it around?
I'm G&T, baby.
I've been a fan for 3 decades. Ever since I was in a gifted and talented education class. I don't know if those are paid for or not, but I was in it. We studied mythology from Egypt and Greece, and those are like my top 2 on the bucket list. So, back in some of the doldrums of the rehab, I thought it'd be fun to put together a trip with some friends, and we wanted to plan it kind of middle of June. Looked at the previous year's schedule and felt like I was going to be safe.
Can I tell you something,
at least he planned it for a time he thought he'd be safe.
Your imitation is now spot on.
Yeah, Michael, it's taken time to get there, but it's a real nuanced thing that he does with the words, and it helps when you have names like Donnie or Fauci. You know what I mean? 2-syllable names.
Michael, you do.
Michael, listen. And it would be interesting to go back and listen to my interview when I first came on the team. If I sounded that way when I was on the phone, when I was in the doldrums of my rehab.
That's doldrums.
Doldrums.
Hey.
Doldrums.
He was in a talented and gifted class. I'm going to side with him.
It's gifted and talented, you big oaf. You wouldn't understand.
Saying that?
Well, I was being sarcastic. I think I was being sarcastic.
I guess I'm not getting it to you. Richard was being sarcastic.
Yeah. Well, you're very slow, and Richie he's very smart like myself. And I was up last night. I actually received the newest Time Life book for my Mysteries of the Unknown series, and I was reading some stuff about Taiwan that'll blow your mind.
Are you going there next June?
Well, I have a trip planned actually for mid-August, and it's between 2 preseason games. You know I'm not playing preseason. We got Tyrod for that nonsense, so.
I'll tell you, if this is full troll, it is epic.
Well, the whole thing, he never plays a game.
Well,
he just showed up to do this for 2 years to torment the number one
I think he
market.
sits there. It's all nonsense, and he revels in the fact that we talk and analyze.
I think it might be. Although Lupa just described it perfectly. He feels like he's in the middle seat, and Aaron Rodgers is sitting on each side of him, chattering on and on. We can't get away.
No, because if you had a friend that was Aaron Rodgers who acted like this, you'd cut ties, right? You just couldn't deal with it. But he's someone that every time he says something, not only are there like literally dozens of people around him all like nodding in agreement like he's telling them stuff that is going to cure cancer, and then turn on the radio and segments are being done and sports centers are being done on it. He's probably laughing his ass off.
Well, and also, because he's a legend, he has this thing where his teammates are just obsessed with him.
Right.
Like he just, it's interesting. CM Punk came back to WWE. Have you ever thought about this, Anthony? I feel like prior to the WWE run, CM Punk had some Rodgers in him.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything he said was like just so smart, and like I get this business in a way that no one else does. And then when he got to WWE and got another chance, he has been the anti-Rodgers. He's been everyone's best friend. He says the right things about everything. He doesn't really say much about his past that could, like, bring up bad stories. He's just as, like, I just want to be the guy this time.
Wants to sign for life now.
Yeah, he just wants to be there and be happy and ride off into the sunset. And it just seems like Rodgers almost thinks so highly of himself, like he's another level up, that he doesn't think he needs to do anything. He really believes, Michael, that his story is already completely written and he couldn't use one more great thing. I firmly believe Rodgers' career will not age well. Oh, this is good. As time goes on and people like me and Don, who are obsessed with watching him, as those people's memories fade, he's not going to have the Super Bowl and the ending legacy that he thinks he's going to have. It's going to die out.
Unless he wins now.
That's what I mean. He needs this much more than he leads on. He doesn't have a Brady legacy. He doesn't have a Montana legacy. With one Super Bowl, it'll kind of end up being the same thing we all... God, think about it. Think about the hard time that Strawberry and Gooden get for only being a part of the one win. And that... It's going to end up being that. It's going to be a disappointment. He didn't get more.
There is something within the quarterback community of getting that second one. We talked about it a few months ago. Even Kurt Warner said it. Again, he's not even in the 2 Super Bowl club. Like, he tried.
Well, he was
and
close.
He's in the Hall of Fame, and it's still talking about you need that second.
If Warner had stolen that second one over Pittsburgh when he was in Arizona, we're talking about him in a whole different way.
Right, and Rodgers only went to 1.
Yeah. And then he's sort of, whatted the bed in big spots over the last 5 years of his career.
Well, Peter, I tried my best. I didn't.
No, see, Michael, what I don't like about what you're doing is you're going too Southern. That's Paul O'Neill. See, this is Aaron Rodgers. I'm Paul O'Neill. See, very different.
Very
Mike.
subtle.
It's a subtle difference, but it's an important difference. I had a conversation yesterday about presidential impressions, because when a certain friend of mine, I won't say who, made me believe that we had lost a certain president, I started talking about that person, and I realized I had no impression of Jimmy Carter. The impressions for me only start at Ronald Reagan. Did anyone ever do a good Jimmy Carter?
Yeah. Everybody who does imitations.
Yeah, but I
Jimmy
can't
Carter.
think. Did SNL ever have... They had Ford, but all Chevy Chase did was fall down. That was his Ford.
Right, that wasn't an impression.
But he was being the...
Right, but he didn't speak like it.
Was
he
physical.
Just fell down.
He just fell down.
But SNL really, since him, or right after that, have had somebody that does an impression of the president. I don't think... When did it begin? Because they didn't do one for Carter that I remember.
Well,
and Chevy Chase just fell down. So who's after that then? Because, well... Ford, and then you got Reagan. Did they do a Reagan?
Oh, what? Reagan was... Now, I just want...
No, that was SNL one.
Oh, yeah,
SNL
huge.
One. Okay.
SNL was...
So it probably started with Reagan.
Reagan was a big one. Daniel Jones.
Danny.
He's at camp, and he's here to talk. How did you feel about the Giants looking at QBs in the draft?
I mean, obviously, you're not excited about it, but they have a job to do. I got a job to do, so it is what it is, and we're at this point now, so grateful for the opportunity I have and excited to play football. That's kind of my focus now, but, yeah, I mean, it's not a fun conversation.
All right, it's honest.
Again, for Daniel Jones, that's the equivalent of another person, screaming at the top of their lungs and pounding the table.
So people feel that Jones has been disrespected. Can you imagine the outcry if they did a Hard Knocks and the Giants had zero intention of replacing Daniel Jones? You'd be losing it, right? I mean, don't you want them to be looking for somebody else?
No, you do. It's Don. It's not really a big win, but they maybe showed a little more than they needed to show. That will do it for ENN. Thanks, Michael. It was brought to you by my friends over Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during the Make This the Summer event.
I want to thank the people that make the Oreo ice cream cake. Tradition.
How about Anthony, who went out and bought it?
I know.
That's who deserves it.
Thank you so much for the birthday.
We celebrated
plates and utensils, so we didn't have to eat it like animals out of a cup.
See you, everybody.